appreciate all you guys that cover us. You've seen us being here after games in South Cat in our short time here. It seems like, with a lot of those that we've had, I've been here longer than I have, but it's really been a short amount of time. We've had quite a few of those go the other way, and I appreciate your steadfastness in covering our kids, and I'm glad that you get to be in here tonight when we feel quite a bit different. And I couldn't be more proud of that staff in there and those kids to go through what they went through this week, and with the injuries, with the outside world having their opinions of things, and in the back of our mind as coaches, you always wonder if you really can get a team ready to do something like this when you're shorthanded and you come off a loss. It's extremely disappointing and difficult. So you can imagine how proud I am and thankful that God chose to bless us. I told our team this morning that sometimes God wets the wood before he lights it. A little story in 1 Kings, and I feel like we've gone through our share of being drenched a little. And tonight we certainly are thrilled to represent our university and Rebel Nation out there in a battle between two good football teams. And couldn't be proud of those young kids that we still didn't make it pretty. We did some things that made it a bit difficult, but we found a way to get it done, and couldn't be more proud.
Raise your hand if you have a question.
Obviously, offense won it at the end, but for the entire 4 quarters, defense, magnificent.
I just, Dave and his staff, all of those guys, from the on-the-field guys to the interns to the Corey Batoon and the role that all of those guys play in preparing those kids and being such short-handed, having to shorten practices because of that. And it was just amazing that the job they did. I sat in on more of their meetings this week probably than ever before, not because I could add much to it, but the plan he had I thought was really good. And again, we were so short-handed, then we lost Charles, Wiggum, Keith, Denzel was banged up. Just seemed like at one point, I asked when Keith went down, and we just pulled out Denzel. I asked Tom, do we have another stinger? And he said, Coach, I do not. I do not have another stinger. And I said, well, pal, you're going to have to put somebody in there. And we kind of went with DT and Mike there for a couple snaps. Then Denzel said, I'll try to gut it out, and he did. So just real pleased with the defensive plan, the turnovers they created. And we knew it would be a handful. And we played Derrick Jones and Bobby Hill and guys and young blood. I mean, these guys hadn't played in and had to go out there and guard Odell Beckham, some of those guys. And just, again, it makes our joy that much greater.
Hugh, to come up short so many times and finally come through with one, what was the environment like in the locker room amongst the kids?
It's pretty crazy in there right now. Happy for Andrew Ritter. He to come back for his be asked to be redshirted his senior year last year, to come back, that kick like that will make it memories for a lifetime for him. To beat one of your biggest rivals, to recapture the Magnolia Bowl for Ole Miss here, and he felt awful because the time before we drove down, he really, the protection was good. The snap may have been a little high, but he kicked a low liner, and I'm not sure what happened. He's not either, so he felt awful about that because that would have given us a 2-score lead. So I'm glad it worked out for him.
Obviously, you guys listen to you all week, but one week ago tonight, you guys lost one of these heartbreaking games. What does finally winning one of these, what can it do for you guys going forward?
My immediate thought always goes to recruiting. There's some really good recruits in that locker room that see that, and we had some really good ones here last weekend that see we're really close, and we could use a little help because we're not where we need to be depth-wise at certain spots. And so, my mind always goes to that. My mind does not go to where the media would like for it to go to and say that we took 8 steps forward tonight. To me, it's just this conference. I've said all along to the people that would listen to me that be guarded in your expectations in year 2 with some of the issues we still have, but we're going to compete and we're going to have a chance to win. And, we didn't make plays the other night to win it at the end, and tonight we did. We made the catch on 3rd down, or we made the kick, or we made the pass breakup or the interception. But no question, I think it helps us in recruiting, which will help us ultimately get where we all want to go.
Hugh, on that last drive, what was your mindset with 3 minutes left? Did you want to instantly score, or were you just thinking, let's get this to
No.
At what point did you start lining it up for Andrew?
I envisioned it exactly like it happened, except for Les called the timeout with 6 seconds, and I wanted it with 3, because I didn't want to go through that drama with that kickoff. And thought I'd called it with 3, and then all of a sudden they come over and said he called it with 6. So that's the only thing that I didn't. It played out exactly like that, except for that.
Coach, 17-7 midway through the 3rd quarter. We fumbled in midfield. They drive right down to score. Your defense played their guts out all night long. And kind of felt the old momentum, kind of putting on a white jersey a little bit. Talk about the drive after the kickoff there.
Yeah, I thought that was a huge drive, and we ran the football. I mean, we ran the football against a really good defensive front. I'm going to say that again. We ran the football against a really good defensive front. Our offensive line blocked a really good front. So I want to be very clear how I feel about that. And they lined up and they ran it, that possession, and we rushed for, I don't know, I can't find it. But I know what we did on that possession. We lined up and we ran the football, and that was a huge possession. And I don't know that we can line up and run it next week on whoever we play, but I do know we ran it tonight. And I think when we point all the things out, let's point that out too, that we lined up and we ran the football against a really good defense.